How are you?
Yeah, I'm so
Hopefully,
great. How
I'm
about
great
you?
too.
But,
Yeah.
yes.
So our themes for this week is does fear matter? Which means does fear affect us, or is it actually the problem when we stop fear, or we have fears in our brain, or we just have no confidence to do anything? So is that matter? Something like that. So the listeners or the watcher this video gotta be knowing about the technical about the technical in order to get rid of or to release the nervousness and confidence or fear. So our speaker, Venerable Watson, is gonna share with all of you guys about the tips, about the approaches, or anything around this topic. So you guys gotta be aware about it sooner. So as a time, because we have just only a short period here, without further ado, I would love to begin with the first question to Venerable. You okay? You ready? Okay, thank you very much. The first question is, what is fear actually is? And is it impact negatively to ourselves? Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, moderators. My name is Honorable Watson. Okay, well, this question so very important for us. What is the actually is or negatively impacts us? So, because we emotions that is structured by reflexive chat. Because right now I have some point for the pace of fear to say with all of you guys. So number one, physical effect. Physical effect is a fear cause a numbers of a physical simon. So this is so number two, emotion effects. Emotion is the feeling can loud emotional and make it difficult to enjoy our lives. For example, so when you meet with some people that mean about emotion effects happen of your life as well. If you always look down yourself, this is emotion effects. So the number three, conjecture effects. Conjecture that about the uh, impairs or abilities. For example, so when you always compare with other people, with native speakers, with your friend, with your classmate, you always mean a bad feeling of your critical thinking because you don't open, you never open up your mind. Many conjectives about it. This is about the fear. And number one, now about the some point more about behaviors effects. Behavior effect. What is your behaviors effect? So when you join public speaking, have you ever learned from behaviors effects from the native speaker or from your life? This is about the fear, and I will share with you about how can I deal with these problems. Number one, physical effects. Number two, emotion effects. Number three, cognitive effects, and number four, behavior effects. Okay, let us share with you about some tips for imaging imaging by yourself. So, when you fear physical effects, for example, identity your fears. Can you see identity your fears by yourself? So when you join public speakers, are you afraid of the high speaker when your friend or your classmate speak with you? Because so when, for example, so when there is a high levels, you always fear something. This is identity your friend. Please know clearly and then don't compare you and me from each others. And about the number two, here is problem and motivation. Motivation is motivated to take action or dangers. For example, if we have afraid to the uh, or top speakers or something like that. For example, from my perspective ideas, so when I join public speaking, I always motivate myself. I always open my mind to uh, learn from it everybody's from my club as well, especially PUC Toastmaster clubs. I'm not high level, but I can do it because and I never lock down on myself. I always motivate myself every day I join before meeting from PC Toastmaster clubs. And number three, how can I deal most? Learning. Learning where is a teach us about the dangers or environment, how to jump. For examples, if you are afraid aspire or the speakers. So about this point is very important for the learning from the native speaker, from the speaker or top speaker from other the clubs. That means you can learn from number one, or you can see eye contact. Number D, how to use body language, and number two, how to use body language, and number three is by move contact, movement. So when we speak face to face, okay. Thank you so much. So my conclusion about this point about impacts of fears: number one, physical effects; number two, emotional effects; number three, cognitive effects; and number four, behavior effects. And how can we deal? Imaging, tip for imaging. Number one, identity your fears. Number two, motivation, and number three is learning. Yeah, thank you so much. Back to you, moderator. This is yours from my perspective idea.
Okay, thank you very much for your beautiful answers. It is such the best answer ever. The best speaker here, so everyone is lucky for tonight. So you have four tips in order to describe or to give the clear definition about the fear, right? The fear is the state of feeling that afraid and inconfident in terms of speaking, facial expression, or anything. Whenever we go to anywhere to talk with anybody, we feel like unconfidently talk and nervously. We are not confident by talking to each other, to one another's in terms of any topic. So it is kind of the ways that we cannot live our life, or like it doesn't mean that cannot live our life, but perfectly we can get the perfection. As a leadership, we need confidence. We are supposed to get it up. So vulnerable is as well, and you also have mentioned about the approaches in order to get it off or to cut off our fear or nervousness in our mind. So your tip is what? Practice, right? You have four tips, right? So
Yes.
you've already recapped it. You've already recapped it. So probably I don't need to recap it as well because the speech is really nice. And just to summarize, I don't want to go or jump into the point, but just summarize as a general, right? To start out, when you first, you have faced with fear, right? You used to nervously talk to each other when you come to another club like Toastmaster, and you really afraid of each other. So like, you have no confidence to talk in front of a lot of people. You have no confidence in order to make answers for the questioners or the question master in a questions like master session or the impromptu speech session. So it is the best point that you share with us. Like when everybody, when you faced with a fear for a long time ago, for a long period. So our last strategies that Venerable have mentioned to us, is really best in order to deal with all that. It is kind of the best solution ever. We can actually take this, practice it to deal with our issue is fear. So without further ado, I would love to jump into the second question. Could you share something about the approaches to deal with awkward habits like fear or unconfidence? Yes, got it, right? Because this moment you've been engaged that speech or the solution with the first question, that which we gotta focus to the what is the fear actually mean, and is it give it a awkward impact negatively to our life. So you've been mentioned already. So another point that I want you to illustrate, to interpret to our audience, to be comprehend, is the way that you already mentioned that you have faced with the fear, right? So what is it that you take in order to deal with that fear? Because right now you're so brave, you have a braveness, so you can actually talk in front of a lot of people in the club. So what approaches that you take in order to deal with it? Okay, thank you.
All right. Because I have the fear this point as well, but then I can control my feeling as well. So because at the moment I'm still already about to have a problem, so I deal already. So number one, and I always speak about why we have a problem for fear something. So when we join public speaking, and I see already, and then I engaging, yeah, imagine my imaging identity, your fears, motivation, learning. About the 3 points that mean you make you very confident, make you
Mhm.
speak uh, speak power have confidence in the public speaking as well. And then so you can remember of your mind. That means or don't say a negative of your mind. Please say the positive of your mind. Because so when you join public speaking and about the level is not the same. Level so very high. Sometimes some people high level and not high levels. But if you are not high levels, you are a small or beginner level or the intermediate levels, don't worry. That means don't say negative of your mind. Please open your mind to learn from each other, from other clubs smalls. Because no one is perfect, no one is perfect. That means about some fault, and I can learn from other professors, and no pain, no gain as well. If you study hard, you can see your result as well. If you don't be
Yeah.
kind, uh, if you don't be afraid for the speaking, you can see your result as soon as. That means as soon as. If you always study hard and keep going and never drop out as well. Yeah, back to you, moderator. Thank you so much.
The best answers ever. So you guys, did you cut the meanings? They just to illustrate and go straight toward to our strategies in order to cut up our nervousness while speaking in the public or in front of other people. You said that, please, you guys, I just want to emphasize you again and again and again. Like it is very essential and phenomenal for us in order to practice to cut it off. He mentions that to cut it off, we are supposed to keep our mind positively, always positive. So I've mentioned already for several times, like our mind is like a sunglasses. So when you to purchase any sunglasses, they have the transparent glass. It's like it's like the sunglasses that you're wearable. When you have the transparent glass, you're gonna watch or look at to anything in a transparent way, in a good way, because it has no colors, it has no virus. But when you once purchase any sunglasses that has a black glass, so you're gonna look at to anything or anybody in the black way. You're gonna see anything in the black colors, right? If you already include any bad information to our brain day by day, read that bad news, read a bad books, or watch any useless videos, or just to ruin ourselves, our mind, our manners, something like that. So everybody, everything that you accumulate to your body is gonna give you a remarkable result. If you just listen or accumulate all the bad habit, the bad things, the bad information, you probably gonna think negatively. If your thought is negative, your thought will lead you to do any bad deed. So if you practice bad deed several times, it will become your habit. And your habit will set who you are in the future. That's it. So that's why if you want to get it off any nervousness, you want to get preparedness, you want to be courage to do anything that you haven't done before. So this is the best thing, say the best answers. So let's jump into our next questions. You've done a very phenomenal job. So do you think that our audience, our ex-audience in this group, can actually practice as the same way as yours, that you use the strategies in order to deal with or to cut the nervousness down? Do you think that they can practice the same strategy as you?
And about this point, so when the practice, for example, so what do you want to practice? You want to practice English to improve something or not? That means so when the practice, okay, I will share from my perspective ideas from the practice. For example, I think that right now I know there are the clubs or public speaking, and I will practice and I never job outside because about the sample, you know about the practice make you perfect. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, if you always keep in your mind but you never speak out, that means make you so very shy as well. So practice make you perfect. Practice make you perfect. Please remember about this quote: "No pain, no gain. Practice make you perfect." More you practice, you can clear pronunciation, vocabulary, phrase, and something like that. So make you mean better and better than before. If that means how can you know your level for the practicing? That means so when you practice with someone and also number one, don't speak. So I mean if you are the first time for practicing English, don't speak about a difficult word, such a simple word that means make you so very happy for the learning or for the practicing as well. If you are very fine about difficult words, sometimes make you about your feeling is not good and you don't have that mean oh I'm so boring for the practicing because English is so very difficult for learning as well. That mean about if you are the first time or second time, you can practice simple words, a simple phrase for with your partner as well. Especially so when you are happy and your knowledge or your English better and better than before. No doubt. That means so fast, so fast and good, better and better than before. So when you practice this every day. Yeah. Thank you so much. Very much. Back to you.
Okay, so it is the phenomenal recommendation. And so you means that everybody can do anything that you done, right? Nobody's that cannot do it. It depends. But the things that you want to do is practice. You want to emphasize about the practice, the importance of practicing. So it's really essential, as you mentioned, everybody take care, because this point is really essential. Even though I don't care how much your theory is, how much your degree is, if you don't practice that properly, you cannot do it well. Even though we can learn English, just imagine the students or the beginner of English learning. I used to study with so many people in the same class, but in the class we separate too many types. Like some students good at grammar, he always get a full score in the exams, but some of them good at speaking, wrong in grammar, have some error in grammar, and cannot get a full score in the exam. But actually, when they go to anywhere and have a task to present the speech to the teachers, they got a full score. That's it. Because we have our uniqueness. You have the variety of uniqueness. So practicing. I don't care how much time you have spent to your English class. So if you don't practice it properly, you cannot speak it well. You cannot speak it fluently, especially the pronunciation. We cannot better it because the way that we can grow ourselves is practicing. So it's really nice, a beautiful speech ever. So next question that I want you to illustrate for our audience to be clearer and clearer is what is your noteworthy recommendation for our followers and audience in order to get it out of it. Yes, something like this.
Okay, thank you so much for this question. So number one, be kind yourself. Why? Because it's important for the patient and understanding with yourself as soon as work or challenge your habit as well. If you don't be your kind yourself, see that what is your habit? How can you understand yourself if you don't kind to yourself as well? Number two, don't give up. Right. Don't give up is very important for you. Because for example, your goal is not my hand. That means your goal is in your hand as well. In your hand, not in other people. Mean in your hand. For example, you want to speak English in Bruce, but you never practice English. You never learn vocabulary or listening or uh, watching platform or something like that. Learn from other people. Learn from YouTube and platforms. TikTok, Facebook, there are a lot because technology is good of our country as well. It's don't give up. That means don't give up. Please keep your mind. Don't give up. We know about the example. We are slow learner, but we never give up or we never drop out. And then the number three is find what work for you. What is your work?
Okay.
If you are the student, you can know, oh, I am in charge of learners. I'm not a worker. I'm not a co-worker. I'm a student. That means I focus to study. Don't waste your time to the about a play game or something like that. You can't because mean please know what are you in charge of? Are you in charge of workers, co-workers, or a student? And for me, I know myself clearly. I'm in charge of the learners. I always focus to study because I want to build my knowledge again and again because knowledge is not the end for me. It's not the end. Knowledge is good and it helped me a lot to improve my life as well. And so number four is have fun. Challenging a habit, run up or enjoy progress like this. For example, have fun. That means uh, have you ever to do something? Have you happy to do it or not? From your perspective idea or your idea as well. If you don't have fun or if you don't happy, I think that about something you can do it well. But if you do it from your hand, so very easy, not difficult as well. A piece of cake for doing. For example, you want to improve your English, but you study from your hand. I think that your English better before. But if you study follow your feelings, I think that it's not good as well because the feeling sometimes today I'm so very lazy. I want to teacher. I ask the permission today because I'm so lazy. I think so first time as well. Don't study follow your feeling. Please study follow your heart and follow your goal as well. What is your goal? What goal do you want to achieve from your life as well? Yeah, this is my perspective ideas, my points. Number one, be kind yourself. Number two, don't give up. Number three, find what one work for you. And number four, have fun or happy to do it. Yeah, thank you. Back to you, boys.
Okay. It is the phenomenal one. So to recap this again, you have 4 tips. You have 4 points, to illustrate or to inform our audience. It is the to be yourself. Okay, everybody, be yourself. Because
be kind yourself. Be kind yourself.
He have mentioned that if you want to be yourself, I can say that if you want to be healed in any disease, you go to the hospital, and then the doctors ask you, oh, what's happened, and you don't know. How can we deal with the problem? Because even the problem, we don't know what exactly what it exactly is. So before going to deal with any problem, we are supposed to know about the cause of that problem. And what is it? What is the problem? And why we want to get rid of it? Is it has a negative impact or negatively to our life? So how many reasons that causes or inspires to get it or to remove all that bad habit, bad diseases, bad things. So we are supposed to know about ourselves as well. We know that what is it that we like and what is our passion, what is our target, what is our objective, what is our orientation of doing anything. So that is the first point that Venerable have mentioned. And the second point of yours is don't give up. Don't give up in any situation. I think I have one friend and he's not good at it. I think we don't do anything like starting in a public speaking to improve our confidence in order to stand by or to speak or to develop a speech to lots of people. Even though learning English, he's not good at, but he doesn't give up. He just pursue and endure that journey till right now.
Yeah.
He's now becomes better and better. I can imagine that he can reach that level. And the English with a differentiation is good. And another thing is that his confidence
Yes.
in speaking in the public.
Yes.
So there is reflects that giving up is not the key way that we are supposed to following up. So this is also the point that we are supposed to consider how to take it to a practice or apply it in our daily life. Another point, the third of your is find our one jobs. Specific job. I think it is also the best things as well. Because whenever you don't want that, what is it that you want to go? What is it? Where is it you want to go, and what is it that you want to do? Like a work, like a job. You don't even know that what is it your passion. No. Okay, just to recap again about the tips in order to get it off our nervousness. Yeah. Wearable have mentioned about the 4 tips in order to get it or just to cut it down. And the first approaches is be ourselves. I've described already to illustrate to everybody already. And number 2, don't give up. Number 3, find the specific job. Number 4, have fun. I think this point is also phenomenal because fun when they just want to illustrate, they just want to tell us about the specific things that we are supposed to do what we love. So we're gonna love what we do. For example, we just do anything. Let's say when I was created from the 12 exams, 12 or just graduated from the high school, and then I go to find any university to carry on my education. And then my friends said that, oh, you are supposed to go to the university A, and another friend said that you are supposed to go to another university B or something like this. But I don't actually know what is my purpose, what is my actual dream, what is my favorite majors in order to choose to carry on my education on the university. And I just follow up my friend. I didn't know what I love exactly. So after 3 years, I became a senior or get a year 3, year 4 in IT's majors. And then I suddenly studied so far animation to another major side. Oh my god, right here I'm a year 4 of IT. But I don't like it at all. I just found that it's really complex. It's really complicated. So I just don't want to pursue or I don't want to endure this journey anymore. So they should certainly go and decided right away to change the majors to another point, like change from IT to law or change from law to another, etc. So the four or the last points of his speech is really essential as well. Please have the specific one or have fun. That's which means that you're supposed to do what you love and you will love what you do. So to recap it again and again. In order to get it up fear, I think fearness sometimes is not good. Sometimes is we cannot call it the breathness. For example, a teachers. Most people have taught me that I didn't fear anything, and it says that it doesn't mean that I have no fear or I am the most confident person. But because I consider myself, I'm the teachers. I am the highest. I'm staying at the highest position than you guys are here because I'm a teacher. That is my teacher's speech delivered to me. And it says that whenever I consider that I'm staying at a higher position than you, I feel more confidence. And I think I just consider you are students. And everything that I talk, everything that I illustrate, everything that I want to talk you is just the way that you probably didn't know. So nobody gonna send me to the jail. Nobody gonna hit me. Nobody gonna do anything wrongly to me because I'm a teacher. So this point, it correct. It's kind of phenomenal. But when the most confident teacher, the teacher that told me, go to another position, let's say the school or the university have the meeting, and then they just accumulate other teachers, gather other teachers, invited other teachers to be in a hall in order to provide about the report relevant to the school structure or the school administration. Yeah, something like this, etc. And then they should only talk to the principal nervously, no confidence. Because what? Because that time he considered himself like I am a teacher, I'm a worker, and I'm talking to the principal, my boss. And it's feel like he's afraid of making mistake. So that's it. The different position, different feeling. So we cannot define whether I'm here to talk with you guys. It seems like, oh, this youngest man probably is so confident, and it's not sure I can say this because when I go to another position, to another environment with 1,000 people, probably I cannot stand or sit confidently or comfortable because different position, different environment can make the varieties of mood, the varieties of thought. We can say that, oh, there's a lot of people, and most people staying in a higher position than me. They have the highest education. On most people most people are educated people. So probably some of my speech are wrong, or some of my speech has so many error, plenty of mistakes. They're gonna consider that, oh, I'm a fool one, why I'm here, or something like this that make my feeling complicated. And it's really essential that we are supposed to know. It doesn't mean that the one who always do anything in the same place confidently always stand still or endure the confidence of life or forever. So the three tips that Venerable One Sign have mentioned already. So you guys gotta be clear. So before jumping to our last session, I would love to invite any audience. I'm sorry. Anybody have question relevant to the fear? You can raise it and drop it in the comment or just mute and ask ask us directly. Anybody have any question?
Okay, basically depend on the on Zoom.
Miss Chimley, Verbal, and everybody.
I just so I missed the main point. So I have no doubt. Yeah, go ahead.
No
That's
doubt.
okay.
Okay, thank you for your response. How about Verbal limit on? Do you have any question or any concerns?
Sorry, I don't have any questions. I just joined and I missed
Just
some.
okay. Anybody else?
And about Kim Chang. Oh, Kim Chang join. Kim Chang.
Chance.
Oh, Kim Chang. Oh, okay. Kim Chang. So do you have a question more? Any question?
Yeah,
Okay.
just left. Because most people haven't so many, or I can say plenty of concerns relevant to the fear, because most, I can say a big proportion of people has a doubt or fear, really worried whenever that anybody posts them or encourage them to speak in the public. So the fear is the obstacle, the biggest obstacle that they faced. And the way that we are supposed to use or take in order to get it off the fear, where Boba San have mentioned already. And I have already recapped it. And this is the question section. So if any members or audience have any concerns or questions, just let us know. So let's count down. Let's count down. From 10 to 0. If there is no anybody have any concerns, just let this Zoom be end. Okay. The time is 9:36 or 46. So because of we have reached to the last session. So at this time, we successfully ran it. We successfully processed this event, this podcast. So I really give a big thanks to Venerable What Science, and thank you for your attention, audience, fellow audience. Okay, if this
Yeah.
meeting cannot be without you guys, so I believe that if there is no all of you guys, or there is no the presence of you, probably this podcast cannot be healed, cannot be appeared at this time. So thank you very much, by the way. So let me say goodbye and give you guys and bless you guys a beautiful day. Okay, thank you again, Venerable and everybody.